Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 10 of the B Graders. We are here once again at the wonderful Sweet Remedy Cafe. They look after us so well, Matt. They make sure that we are fed and watered.
Yes, they do. And
for a charge.
10th anniversary, 10th show.
Yeah, they said we'd never make
They
it.
said we'd never get past show number 2, but we've got far more hot air than most people give us credit for.
No one can talk rubbish as quick and as much as us.
They can't.
Mate, it's been a reasonably controversial week.
Mate, social... Oh, there you
Geez,
go.
more explosions. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Adam
lost
Scott.
my train of thought now.
Adam
What are we
Scott,
talking
always late to the party.
about? Always late. Luckily, turned the camera on. But social media in Western Australia this week, tell you what, first off, Nationals.
They're going to Ballarat till 2020.
2020, and one or two people locally not happy about it. What's your thought?
I love Ballarat. I reckon they do a great job. I don't like Cycling Australia, and I don't like the way that they went about awarding it to Ballarat. Well, they didn't open it up to anyone else to bid. Now, I have no issue with Ballarat getting it. I reckon they do a good job. As I said, I reckon that they put a lot of money in and they've developed the sport very well there. But because it's a national sport, it's a national organisation, perhaps you should open it up to other states to at least bid for it. Doesn't mean you have to give it to them. It has to be one on a business case. Best business case is Ballarat, give it to Ballarat, but let others at least have a try.
I hear what you're saying. I don't totally agree with it. I think
I don't care whether you totally agree.
My thought of it is basically that we're no longer the 1948 Olympic ideal type organisation where you had a president and a vice president, a treasurer, a secretary and all that sort of stuff going on in
But
any of these
unfortunately
sports.
we do. Unfortunately,
No, we don't.
Unfortunately,
We
the Constitution says we do.
No, we don't. We don't have one in WA. We don't have a president or a vice president. We have a chairman of the board.
It's the same word, different meaning.
It's run differently. The power isn't there like it used to be once upon a time. My thing with the whole 2020 Nationals is I'm all for it. I'm a big backer of Ballarat. I think Ballarat's definitely the place to have it. For simple reasons. The Nationals has changed in the last 10 years.
Hasn't they run the same course the last 10 years and the same type of rider wins it every year?
The way it gets presented. It's only in the last 10 years that we've suddenly had this TV exposure to a national road championship. And I'm all for it. You know, let's be proactive, all the states out there, whether it be WA, South Australia, Queensland, Sydney, Tasmania. If they want to put their hand up for it, 2021 is available now. But a lot of work needs to be done.
Absolutely.
Because they have to go up against the TV rights. They have to go up against the locations. They have to go up against the size of the crowd on the side of the road. But we're at the start of 2017 here. I reckon everyone's got an opportunity to have a proposal put together by the end of 2018 and then start lobbying Cycling Australia. Not that I don't change my mind about Cycling Australia, just like you, to be able to be proactive in all of this and not wait for somebody to ask for a tender. Actually go forward and say, here's our case, this is why we think it should go somewhere else. My only thing with Ballarat, though, is there is more roads in Ballarat than up over Buninyong, down the back, down the descent and back into Buninyong. They have so many roads there. They have so many other opportunities to change the criterium circuit that I think is very much getting a little bit boring. Even you can still use the same street to finish in. You can possibly go around the block and make it a rectangle. And the road course, if it was in Ballarat, Buninyong every year because it's a good location, it's working well.
It's a fantastic location.
Change the circuit.
Change the circuit
Ever so slightly.
Give a sprinter a chance to win. Give someone who finish it on top of a hill one year. Make it different.
I'm all for it. Yeah, I'm all for it. I don't think they need to change the location. I think the location's fine. And GTR events and Cycling Australia events have done a great job.
No one doubts that. Now moving on, Facebook post of the decade, Matt Pointer, our good mate Daniel O'Donoghue. Daniel O'Donoghue is the chairman of Cycling WA.
He is.
He is the president of Rouchard Cycling Club. Here I am. He posted up saying, "Clubs v teams." Yep. He loves a club. He hates a team.
Well, Dan's got a very strong opinion that the reason clubs aren't as strong as they were, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't as strong as they were because there is so much focus on people going and being in teams and therefore sponsorship dollars that might go to a club ends up going to these teams instead. And I think that is, correct me if I'm wrong.
And then, people get more involved in their team than they do in the club. Now, my argument to counter that, and I own I'll give you my conflict of interest declaration. I own a team. But I also am a member of a club, and the club that I volunteer at and have been on the committee of and done a whole bunch of other stuff is very important. I don't think that just because you're a member of a team doesn't mean you can't get involved, and you don't get involved in the clubs. Like any sport that's out there, it's no different at the soccer club or the T-ball club or whatever it is. It's always the few who do the most. And trying to get engagement has nothing to do with the amount of members you have or teams that are involved. Because what's a football club? It's just a club with about 10 different teams in it. And they're all sort of got their own little vibe and they all hang out together. You still got to get the membership to buy in and help out. And unfortunately for our members of our clubs, there's a lot of people who are a bit selfish. All they want to do is race. They don't want to help out. You need to help out too, guys. Everyone needs to be involved and help your club out. But there's a few reasons why clubs aren't what they were, say, 15 years ago, Matt.
One of my biggest arguments to the post about, and it's not even an argument, I don't. The thing is, I've been in the sport a little bit longer than most who are making opinions, and it doesn't mean I'm smarter or
everyone's allowed an opinion.
I've just been in the sport a little bit longer, and teams have always been there.
Absolutely.
Okay, now we call them NRS, and because we've got all these little NRS teams in WA, we have all these add-on teams like the KHT Vets team, or the Unicorn team, or the Dome team, or you get it, and I love it. My personal opinion, the thing that's hurt clubs more than anything is clubs have stopped running club racing.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, Matt, and I'm showing my age that I would go to. I was a member. Look, I've been a member of Midland Club.
Before I get,
I've been a member of Northern District.
A target on my head from
Melville,
clubs like
Fremantle
districts and so forth. What I say by running club races is, once upon a time, as you were starting to allude to, is if you lived on the north side of town, Northern Districts and Midland would combine for club racing, and you had to be a member of Northern Districts and Midland to race at that club race. And on the southern side of things, we used to have Melville, Fremantle and Southern Districts, and if you wanted to ride with Melville, Fremantle and Southern Districts, you went and raced there, and it was quite clear that they were clubs. They weren't opens. I think where the mistake is being made at the moment for our clubs is Rouchauds and South Perth Relayer do a magnificent job of running a bike race, but they're not running a club race. No. They're running an open. Peel District's exactly the same thing. They are a superb club, magnificent club, and they run a magnificent race. But they are racing, they are running an open.
I think all of these clubs,
Midland do the same
in the winter.
Pickering Brook.
Yep.
Once again, a magnificent event. The clubs know exactly what to run here. I think where they need to turn things around is they need to start saying, right, on this weekend of the month, or this 2 weekends of the month, all the way through the year, you have to be a member of this club to race at this event.
And there's 2 men and a dog there. You race for sweepstakes. You show up on the day. You sign up. It takes very few volunteers.
That's right.
And it's a very low key thing.
Very good point. Volunteers. The biggest problem we're having with clubs at the moment is a lack of volunteers, a lack of commissaires terribly in this town. But if we start giving clubs the opportunity, or clubs take the bull by the horns and say, right, we're going to run a club race over here, you have to be in the club to be here, that means new volunteers will get involved because they now need to be involved to run their own club race. People will start putting their hand up to be commissaires, and they can learn at a club level where there is only 10 to 15 riders in the A grade, where there is only 10 to 15 riders in the B grade, C grade and D grade. It also makes it much easier for riders joining the sport. Like if you've never raced before and the first race you turn up to is Tech Park with 200 bike riders, which is great for our sport, please don't take it the wrong way.
Good luck doing well.
Good luck doing well and starting in the world of cycling if that's the only place you go to. Because guess where those riders go to if they turn up at 200 riders on a weekend and they don't know anything about the sport? They go to a team's club ride or a team's or a coach's club ride, and they never even see the club. So my 5 cents worth to the clubs.
Oh, it's more like 10 cents because you do speak a bit.
But go and start running more club racing only. That means Rouchauds and South Perth Relays put on the race together. Only your riders can ride there. Same with Northern Districts and Midland. Same with Peel. 1 weekend a month. That's all it's got to be. Just run a club race, and I think you'll get your strength back overnight.
And on to that, Peel Districts are starting their weekend races again very shortly. Go to their website. They will always run a good race. Everyone's invited. They're normally they have been on a Saturday afternoon. Some of these might be on a Sunday during the winter.
CA licence.
You need a CA licence for these, though.
CA licence. The beautiful thing about Peel, though, and I think they've done it the right way all the time, they run it on Saturday afternoon.
They have done.
So not everyone can get to a Saturday afternoon club race, which is perfect for that club environment. Absolutely perfect. It's easier to take control of the race.
No prize money. They just get here, you pay your $10 or whatever it is to enter. Everyone has a roll around. Someone wins, throws their hands, they all go home. Everyone's had a good time.
Yep. Very good.
Alrighty, mate, bit of racing over the last week. Liège and Flèche Wallon, won by the same guy.
Yeah.
You did pick it.
Yes, I did.
You did pick it.
Yeah, there you go.
Valverde, he's going okay. He's done pretty good in the Ardennes this year. Dan Martin had a crack. David Fortemuller had a crack. Aussie Mikey Matthews had a crack.
Michael Matthews fourth at Liège, Bastogne Liège. He did a good ride at Flèche as well, but his ride at the Liège Bastogne Liège was absolutely superb because they thought he was doing the job for Tom Dumoulin, and it was quite clear in the last kilometre that Matthews was there for himself. And I think he would have been kicking himself because I think he did the classic sprinter thing as wait. And when he knew he was going to get to the finish line in good shape, he then opened up, but he was a little bit too far back to make the podium and he ended up fourth. Dan Martin, it's been in the press that he shouldn't have attacked. He should have taken on Valverde in the sprint. Dumbest suggestion in the history of the world as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
he was never going to beat Valverde
if he doesn't attack, Fortemuller wins.
Exactly right. And Dan Martin attacked, about 500 metres to go, 600 metres to go. He gave it a crack. I think if he'd sat in the bunch and followed Valverde, I think they'd have still gotten Formula because I think he was slowing down. But Dan Martin would have still only run second.
Absolutely. And I'll just give Liège this. It's only the second bike race this year I haven't fallen asleep watching. So well done, Liège. Over the weekend, our girls' team, our women's team, WNT, they went to Holland. They rode a race. Our girl, Becca Carter, finished very well. Our other girl, Hayley Jones, broke a collarbone, Matt.
Hayley Jones fell off and broke a collarbone. So rest up, heal up, get better, Hayley. Our thoughts are with you. It's just part of bike racing. It's the part of bike racing that we don't want to talk about.
Touch wood doesn't happen to us.
Don't fall off riding home.
I'll try not to.
Something that's coming up in WA this weekend, because there's a bit of a lack of racing on this weekend. Bob Addy won cycle coaching. He's running a coaching session free of charge down at the Kewdale circuit where the Masters boys, or the West Coast Masters boys, have a race on the weekend. Between 9 and 11, you can go onto Bob Addy's website, which you'll see at the bottom of the screen now. Just go on to Bob, send him an email, fill out the questionnaire. Now, Bob Addy, Tour de France rider,
when I raced with Philippe Gimondi, when I, back then, when I was a pro. Don't worry, don't throw your hands because you get disqualified.
Actually, on that, we talked about commissaires a lot over the last
Bob sticks up for what he says. Beginning of the race at the Vets on the weekend, he said, you throw your hands, you're going to get rubbed. Well, the Muppet who won the race...
No, don't take that back.
So I take it not Muppet. The guy who won...
Paul Mackay, who represents Cyclemania, who's one of the best, has been one of the best triathletes in this town for many, many years. He's made the transition into cycling at the Masters level. Won his first big deal race in the Colin Rossiter Memorial the other day. And he got all excited and he threw his hands and he got rubbed out for it. And he should have been rubbed out for it because our rule at the West Coast Masters is
no hands.
You can't throw your hands off the bars. That means you can't do the victory salute.
You can't even do this.
You can't do that. You can't do that. And he got rubbed out. So first of all,
well done,
big
Dipper.
Apologies to Paul Mackay because it was a good win. It was a good win. Well done to Bob Addy for drawing the line in the sand.
Sticking to your guns.
And congratulations to Marty Depiazzi, who stepped up and got
second and won
the race.
And Paul, you're not a Muppet, but it was a Muppet move. And we'll move on from there.
You get smacked in the mouth.
I'm going to get smacked in the mouth. I reckon Barry Wadless is probably going to smack me in the mouth the other day because I told him that he should know his place. He still doesn't know what it is.
Social media, mate.
It's huge, isn't it?
Who cares?
Yeah, we all had a bit of a laugh. Well, I did anyway. I was smiling the whole time.
We've got a big weekend of racing coming up on the weekend of May 6 and 7, and this is where the clubs and the teams could all start talking. Get back from there, they're not yours.
Look, May 6, there's 4 events on.
4 events on.
There's the most important event is the Heart Kids Ball, and if you're not going to that on May 6 at Saturday night at Crown, we'll be doing a bit of this. So you can go to the Supercross at the Showgrounds. That will be a great event.
Showgrounds. My apologies to Greg Murison. I put my hand up very loud and proud to be the commentator there again this year after last year.
But you'll be drinking red wine with me.
But I'd already bought tickets to the Heart Kids Ball, and it's very, very dear to my heart, pardon the pun, that we go to the Heart Kids Ball every year, a group of us. You've got the Lowry
6th and 7th in Collie.
You've got the Criterium on the Saturday, you've got the road race on the Sunday, and then you've got the Super Crit on Claremont on the Saturday night, so numbers are going to be torn.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, West Coast Masters Cycling Club, they start their road season
At Baldivis, Dog Hill. And there's no hills in Dog Hill, but it's still a really good circuit. So get him, if you're not coming to the Hard Kid Ball with me and Matt, get involved, go race somewhere.
Now, on a very, very sad and serious note, ladies and gentlemen, last week, on episode number 9, we were discussing the Indian summer of one or two of the pro bike riders, Philip Gilbert,
Phil Gilbert.
Toilets. I talked about Nicolas Scarponi as a potential Giro d'Italia winner this year. The greatest tragedy that happens in cycling occurred last weekend, and Nicolas Scarponi, after returning home from the Tour de Les Alpes, was hit by a lorry out training, and unfortunately the impact killed him. We just start to say, not that anyone's probably going to see it in Europe, but our heartfelt sorrow to the family and friends of Nicolas Scarponi, and to the cycling world. It's okay to shed a tear when this sort of stuff happens, because it could be any one of us.
Could be any of our mates, anyone that we know.
So we leave you on that sad note.
Val Michele Scarponi.